Hey guys, welcome to this beautiful video. And in this video, we are going to make a full e-commerce website. Yeah, you heard me right. We will use multiple technologies. We will use Mongodb, we will use Next JavaScript, we will use Tailwind CSS, and we will use Node JavaScript, we will use Express JavaScript, we will insert authentication in our website, and we will do a lot more stuffs. We will use context API with use reducer. That's like kind of like an upgraded version of Redux, because Redux has become a little bit old. So probably now I don't think people really much prefer using Redux, because first of all, it just makes things a little bit more complicated than they should be, like creating a new state and then blah blah stuff like that. Well, the context API does it the better way. We can do the same thing with the context API using our use reducer hook. So yeah, it's going to be literally so much fun while making this project, and I will try to keep everything in position. Like, I will try to keep you guys updated. I will try to teach you guys every single thing that I'm doing here. I will try to do my best interaction with you guys. I will not let you get bored anywhere. Like, I will not let you get figure out, like, you're thinking that you're not actually understanding what I'm trying to say to you. So let's get started in this video. If you have not liked this video, just like it right now. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to, if you want more contents like these, and you can also turn on the notifications for all of the videos. You can comment down below how was this video and what type of videos you want in the future, and you can share this video if you actually liked it. I mean, yeah, that's so, like, it's all about up to you what you want to do. I'm just a guide who is teaching you, and it's just whatever you would do, just do better. Okay, so let's first of all make a new folder. E-commerce, we'll call it e-commerce, and inside this folder we will make two folders. One folder will contain the files of the Next JavaScript, which means our client-sided files, and another folder will contain the files of our Node JavaScript, which means our server-sided files. We're creating two separate folders so that it will be much more easier for us to understand which is where. Or what we could have done, we could have just wrote a backend in our Next JavaScript code itself, because that it has an API folder where you can write your backend code, but it just makes the things much more complicated, to be honest. So that's why we are going to create a separate Node JavaScript folder, which is going to have a separate Node JavaScript router actually. So yeah, we'll just first of all create a new folder with the name of client, and we will make another folder with the name of server. So basically we made those two folders with the name of client and with the name of server, and we will open it into our Visual Studio Code. So this is something it looks like. Let's first of all talk about the extensions. I use the bracket pair colorizer 2. I'm using atom1 doc theme for now, and auto rename tag, and beautify to prettify my code. I'm using the ES7 React Redux code snips. It only works for the .jsx files, so yeah, you have to understand that. I'm using float icons for these type of icons. And 1 second, I don't think I need that. I'm using a JavaScript ES6 code snips. I'm using live server, and I'm using material icon theme. Okay, I'm not using this theme right now. So I think that's pretty much it. Okay, I'm also using the Tailwind CSS IntelliSense, because they will actually show us some cool Tailwind snips. I'm not going to actually, the thing is, this project is not about making a front end. Like, literally, we're not really going to target that thing. We're mostly going to copy paste the front end code from like Tailwind, like tail blocks or hero icons. We can get icons from hero icons, and maybe we will use Tailwind UI to get the front end, because if the front end is already available, why waste time anymore? Because that's a cool front end. I really appreciate that one. And tab 9, I really don't like this one. Alrighty, so yeah, you saw different years, you saw what I'm using for now. So we have those two folders. Now we will open a new terminal, and here we will split our terminal. We'll just click here, go to split terminal, and we will open a new PowerShell default splitter terminal. On the left terminal, we'll say cd client, which means we will go to our client folder. Actually, we'll open our client folder in this terminal, and in this terminal we will open our server folder. We'll say cd server. So basically in both of these terminal we can do our server things from the right side and our client things from the left side. Not actually the server thing. Basically we can start the server in the right side, in the right terminal, and we can start our next application on the left server. So first of all, we need to create a new next application. I use yarn for this process. If you can also use npx. So what you have to do, you need to type npx create next app, and then dot means you want to install all of the next JavaScript. You want to install the next JavaScript, the next JS app in your current folder. Then hit enter. I will just do yarn. I will type yarn and create and space and next app and dot. I think yarn is a little bit faster, not much of faster, but it can download all the things up to 20, 25 to 30 seconds. I think npx does the same. Not the npm, you need to type npx. So well, yeah, it's all up to preference. I think yarn is a little bit more cool because, you know, in the npx you have to type create next app, but in yarn you just have to type create and the next app. So you just make the snippet look a little bit more clean. You can see it was downloaded in 27 seconds, and you can already see in the client folder we have these things. Now in the server folder, we will first of all initialize our node JavaScript package, empty package.json folder file. We will say npm -y init. So this will initialize. This will create an empty package.json folder. We don't have to, you know, press enter to have all of these, you know, things filled up by default. So you can do something like that. Now we will install our few dependencies. So what we want to install here is we need to install npm install, or you can type npm I. Well, first of all install express JavaScript for our server to run, and we will just install JSON web token for saving the tokens, like authentication token, in the local storage of the user side. We might have you know, stored the tokens in the cookie of the user browser. But the issue is that next JavaScript is a little bit server-side language, so it's pretty hard to, you know, actually save the cookies in the browser itself. So yeah, that makes things a little bit more complicated. So that is why we cannot save the we can actually save the cookies in the browser, but that would be a little bit more complicated for us and for the user itself. So we only will save the cookies in the local storage item itself. For creating an authentication token, we will use JSON web token. So authentication will help the user to actually you know, save his cart. If we log in, he can see his cart that he might have made on another device. He can see the same cart in his other device, and he can, if he have bought some item, he can check the items that he have bought in the orders section. So yeah, that's a benefit of using JSON, you know, of tokens in authentications. And we will use body parser. Well, I don't think body parser is much of a need, because you can, if you want to accept JSON requests, we can use express.json and as a middleware. But the thing is, like, express.json is not actually going to, if you try to console log, we can, let's say we want to console log the request.body. We want to console log what type of, you know, data we're getting from there, but it will show you nothing actually. So there is, you know, express.json will only show you the data if we, you know, just select the key. We'll select the request.body.username. It will just show you the username. But what if we just, you were not sure about like what type of data is coming from the request? You want to at one time see the request. So that's why we use body parser, parser. We use body parser to actually say console the log or request.body. It will basically show us what type of data is coming from the API. And after setting up the body parser, we will be using Morgan. So Morgan is only used in the development. While you're making the project, this dependency will only be used at that time. Basically what this dependency does, like while you're making API requests, it will tell you that what type of request is coming on your server. Like you made some post requests in your client side of the website, and it will show you what type of request the client made, like let's say a post request, and it will show you the time, like how much time it took for the request to complete, and it will show you the URL where the request was being made. So basically it's a lot of help while you are actually setting up your APIs. You will know how much response time they are having. So yeah, you will get to know about those things like that. And we have the Morgan set it up. Now we need is the body parser. we got the Morgan, we need the course. So basically, while you're making requests within your from your next JavaScript next app to your Node.js app, they might be a little bit off, while you're doing some fetching requests. There might be some course issues, like the course is enabled or something like that. So to fix that, we use course as our middleware, and we don't get to see the issues anymore. And after getting the course in there, what else we want to do? Okay, so we need to get Mongoose involved in this one. Mongoose will actually help us. Mongoose is actually node Mongodb dependency that lets us use Mongodb as our database, and we will use Joy as our schema validator. So Joy will basically help us to validate our schemas. Like we want to, like, we created a user schema, like more like a user collection. It will have the structure of the user, like what should a user collection contain, what should a user model contain. So someone wants to create a new user, he wants to register, he has given the username, email, and password, but his password is smaller. So we have to do the if else statement to actually check if the password is length is equal to whatever we want in the we set it in the database. And instead of doing that manually, the Joy lets you do that automatically. So basically, you create a Joy structure schema, and it will basically just validate whatever data we're getting from the app client side, and it will just keenly detect the issue. Like if say we want minimum characters in the username to be 6, and it will show you like minimum characters in the username should be 6, and if user actually get to know that he has entered less than 6 characters, something like that. So that's how Joy works. So we also will be in installing the dependency of .env. It will let us actually use the .env variables, .environment variables. So environment variables are very much important while you're creating some secret keys or inserting some secret data that you don't want others to know. So that's why we create .env files. Now let's hit enter, and let's see how it goes. Okay, it all went fine. And we forgot to install one more dependency that's called the bcrypt JavaScript. So bcrypt JavaScript will actually hash our password. So basically, when you want to store some password in the database, like you want your new user registered himself on your website, you're storing that user data on your website, on your database. You don't want the password to be just open, just like the password the user gave. You don't want that password to copy paste on the database, because let's say if accidentally your database got hacked, that portion of your database got hacked, and the hackers can actually directly see the directly see the password of the user. You don't want something like that to happen. So what we do in that case, I've seen people encrypt the password, like using the MD5 encryption or something like that. But encryption is not really much secure. Like I myself decoded a lot of encryptions. There are many tools online that can actually decode your encrypted passwords, like blue code hash or something like that. So encryption is not really much a good option, because encryption is just like you're encrypting your code with some key, and if you give the same key back, you get your original password back. But what does bcrypt does? It will hash your password. So basically, it will actually convert your password into some random strings or random numbers like that, and that thing, like that hash, is not reversible. So it will just randomly create some string like that, and you cannot actually get the original password from that hash. Like it is what it is. You cannot literally do anything with it. So that will become your new password. But the cool thing about this thing is, like, if you will have a same if you have Elderny in the password and you hash the Elderny, it will create a hash. And if you will create another hash of this with the same name of Elderny, it will create same hash only if the secret key is the same. Not actually the secret key is the same. Like it will just create the same hash. So it runs on kind of like an algorithm, stuff like that. So it will create the same hash for the same values. So that's how we can compare in the next time, like we want with the user is giving the password. What we do basically, we will hash their passwords. We will just compare the hashed password with the hashed password that we have saved in the database. If they both match, then we will let the user log in, and we will give them the authentication token. And if your user wants to reset the password, we do the same. We will just get some validation from the user, like the OTP or something like that, and we will get the new password. We'll hash the new password, and we'll save the hashed password in the database. So we don't want to store the open password. That's it. That is the main thing. Okay, now our dependencies are installed perfectly fine. Now what we are going to do here, Here we have readme.md. Let's get rid of it. We have the git ignore. Let's remove the slash. Maybe in the future we may upload this on the GitHub, but I really don't have any plans of uploading this thing on the GitHub because I don't want people to actually directly steal my code. I want them to learn. I want them to watch this video, know how things are done. I don't want you guys to come to this video and look out for source codes and ask me for the source code. Please give me the source code, because if you want the source code, just go to Google and search for some source code. Maybe you will find some, but you will usually not find something like that, because people will not work, like people will not waste the time to make to write some 6, 7, 10 hours code for you, just so that you don't have to do any work. You can just copy the code, paste it, send that code to some client and earn the money. So that's not how world works. You have to understand that. I'm just making this site just to teach you guys. Like if I had to make the site myself, I would have made this a long time ago, and I had made a site like this a long time ago. So yeah, that's the thing. This is my first time using Next JavaScript though. Like I'm interested in making this site in the Next JavaScript. So that's the thing. Now we'll get rid of this home.module .css. We'll just delete the API folder. And another thing is that, like, while we want to connect with our server, like we want to make some API requests over server, we have to type the full URL, but we will try to find some shortcuts to not to type full URL, and we'll see that in the future. But for now we have to do it. Now let's first of all do one thing. Let's gonna tailwind CSS. We'll say tailwind Next.js. So we have to just copy paste the code that they are giving us. Just copy this, paste this from your client side terminal, not in your server side terminal, because we want tailwind CSS in our Next JavaScript application, not in our Node JavaScript application. And after that copying is done, just what did we copy? Okay, don't copy the upper one. Now just copy this whole tailwind.config.javascript. So alrighty, tailwind.config.javascript. Where is it? Oh, I did a really bad thing. I copied the wrong code. I had to copy the below one, install tailwind CSS, not set up my whoa. Okay, my bad. Where is it? cd // I have to paste this code here. I don't need to create another folder because I've already initialized my server. So yeah, now we just have to copy our tailwind.config.javascript. It will create the file somewhere here. Okay, you can see we are here. Just paste this code right there. So what is this doing? It is basically looking out for all of the tailwind, all of the JavaScript or TypeScript extensions in the page folder and in the components folder, because that usually people only mix components folder or the page folder. So it will allow tailwind CSS to run on these folders itself. And we have to copy another thing that is going to be this. We have to insert the classes. We need to go to global CSS, paste it there, and now we have to open our underscore app.js, and here we have already imported this one. Let's export the app as default, like that, and that's a good thing. Now we are connected with the tailwind CSS. So now what we can do, we can actually do a lot of stuff, to be honest. Let's close this one for now. Okay, so now first of all we will go to tail blocks, and there's a section. And first of all, let's go to header section, and we will see the header one. Okay, first of all, let's go to the footer one. We want the footer from here. We'll just go to view code, copy to clipboard, say HTML to CSS converter, like HTML to not CSS, JSX converter online. Let's do code pasting there. Thank you. let's make a component folder. Components. Let's make a new file with the name of footer.js. Make sure, okay, it doesn't need to be JS because it's in the component folder. That means it can be JSX. I mean, make sure, like, it doesn't really much matter if you're gonna make your first letter capital or not. But in the page folder, if you will not make your first letter capital, that name will be read as a router itself. So if someone will go to slash your test.jsx, test.javascript, something like that, he will actually see that whatever you have in that component. So make sure to not do something like that. We'll have here LD-ROM store, copyright of 2022, and the L of Elderny with the href of nothing. On the top, I know there is still blocks. We need to change this one to LD-ROM store, and here we have a tailwind CSS SVG, but we don't want that thing to happen. Create SVG logo online free. Make your own logo, and let's quickly make up a logo. Alright, we don't want to make a logo like that, right? I was not expecting something like that to happen. Good. You really are not going to ask me for money for this logo, right? I mean, this is the worst one I have ever seen in my life, to be honest. Okay, so this one looks good. LD-ROM, we'll get started. Just give me something real quick. I want something real quick. Already made logos or logo templates that I can work on. Alright. LD-ROM. I don't know why, but this one really gives me the vibes, you know. It just gives me the cleanness vibes. We can use this one, but we cannot use that much bigger logo. Maybe we have to trim it out by ourselves. Okay, so it just takes a lot of time. What is this? I don't know why, but they just gives me some good vibes. Okay, I'll do. It is freelogo.me. Yeah, it does says that. All right, thanks God. We can actually edit this thing out. Make it a little bit smaller. Make it a little bit more fitable in my project. I don't want it to be more bigger than my actual text. So yeah, I have to make it a little bit more smaller. Okay, it's an SVG, right? Are you serious? Did I just copy the SVG itself? Okay, it's just a footer. But the footer does contain the SVG. Wait a minute, I'm literally confused right now. Ah, my bad. I actually didn't copy it. I mean, yeah, it cannot be really much copied. Can just copy it and paste it right there, alright? We just have to download it. Buy now. Premium logo comes with high quality. I mean, I don't really want to buy it. It's fine. Whatever I have for now. So I will just hop back to, alright. I need the old logo back, cause okay, now they're loading pretty fast. While comparing with the old speed that they used to have. So I don't want to really much waste of much of your time. Like this is not something like you have sold your time to me so that I will make it hours long project just for you guys to wait and see me do crazy stuff. No, it's not something like that. It's a tutorial and I will keep it as a tutorial. All right, you got my word. Good. Here I'm going to do something. Going to crop it out. I'm going to say save as. Logo.png. Good. Go here. PNG to SVG converter. So you can literally go to anywhere on the internet and convert our files. Convert IO. Alrighty. Looks good to me. I mean, I don't know what's there to download in it. Like, it should more like be just an HTML code. Okay, that's what I thought. SVG G transform translate. Okay, let's just copy the SVG. Let's go to footer. Let's just paste the SVG instead of this one. Let's type here yarn dev so we can actually see what is going on in a website, and here in the app we will just import our footer because we want our footer and neighbor to be available in all pages in our website. We want footer to be below. Okay, what's up with the footer one? We got the foot. Oh, what the hell? Need to say RFC React functional component. My bad. Footer. Let's get the footer in the game. Localhost 3000 is the by default port. Okay, we got issues. Module not from home.module.css. It's the index file. Let's make it empty. Okay, so this is our thing, and the SVG is literally nothing. Control plus Shift plus T gives us our old thing back. Okay. Standalone, no, we got the SVG, public. Okay, so I need to see what is the issue. Can we adjust? Righty, it doesn't work. I think the svg file is incorrect. Also png. This file I want to be converted into an svg. No, I don't want no gallery. Online svg image converter. What we have to do, just put our logo. Let's say start. It's processing it, and that's a good thing. Let's download it. Okay. Like literally both of them are not working. Let's open with Visual Studio Code and what they say. It's just the same code. Use SVG and React, and just give me a minute. Alright guys, so I'm back. Basically this website helped me to do it, and the AC convert actually made a SVG file for me, and I used SVG to JSX to convert my SVG to a React component SVG, and I just copied that one. Now I need to see where actually. Let's go back. Let's do a refresh. Elderny store. Before that one. Yeah. So basically this was our starting point, right? We'll do a full restart. So we need to change over from JSX to JS only. Let's do a full refresh. Invalid class token, but I forgot. Okay, I forgot to export it. Something like that, and we can actually see we got this. We get to see the tail, this block. Just have to copy of SVG, and this one, this tail blocks. We need to remove this, SVG into our SVG, and this is at tail blocks, and after that, before that one, we have the SVG. Tail blocks. Before the tail blocks, we have one SVG. Paste our code right there, and yeah, that is our SVG right there. Looks good, to be honest. What we can do otherwise, we can just say logo.javascript, and here let's just copy this whole component. It will just become a little bit more easier for us, because we're not just going to paste this SVG everywhere we want to use it. So what we can do, we can just say export it by default, and here export default logo, and instead of calling it here, we can just call for the logo. It will automatically get it done. You can see we got it, and that's a good thing. Now here we can change this one to Elderny store. So that was cool. 2022. Let's just say Elderny. See Elderny, we got to see the index. That's our main index file. Okay, so this thing set it up, and I'm really happy about it. Now we have to go to tail blocks, and now let's look out for the header. That means a nav bar, and that is going to be somewhere around here. Is a header. We'll copy this one. Let's just copy it and let's just convert our code into a J6 format. And we need to paste our navbar inside of a page folder, because it's going to have few things like normally it's going to show us register and login, and if the user is logged in, we want to show they're like, okay, you're logged in, so we will show things according to that. Also, we need to show the cart in there, and we need to show how many items are in the cart. So there are going to be a lot of things in the navbar, so we just make sure that it actually is in the page folder and it's able to have its own server server get server side props function. So we got the same thing, we got the tail blocks. We're going to replace this thing, our logo, and change tail blocks to LD-ROM store. And all you have to do, go to here, import our navbar, just easy as that. Close this one. Let's do a refresh. You can see we got the thing, we got button, we got LD-ROM store, and we are good to go. Now what we want to do in the navbar, first of all, let's get rid of the fourth and third link. Let's change this to register, and let's change this to login. Let me make the A just a span, make this just a span. We'll import link from React JavaScript, the next JavaScript, next last link, because we want to link the page of register and login here. We'll make them in a minute. We'll just say link href is going to be /register, and the register text will go below between this one. So basically this link text, this link component gets converted into an href with some additional JavaScript connected with it, so that basically doesn't lead to a page reload option like that. And here we can just say cursor is going to be pointer, so yeah, we have to mention that thing also. And then instead of saying here where we're saying button, we can just say cart okay, we're showing some icon like that. Get rid of the icon, we can just show them cart 0. By default it's going to be 0. So yeah, there we go. We have the login register, while the LD-ROM store, we have the cart as 0. Now we will have another one also. It will be just the home page, and basically our LD-ROM store will also act as a link href / if someone will click on our LD-ROM store, he will be taken to the home page. And this one should also be cursor pointer. Okay, hydration failed. Yeah, my bad. I need to convert this A into a div, because there cannot be A into A. Yep. So we have things like that, and that's a good thing. You can see we already set it up here. Now what we want to do here okay, now what we want to do here is let's go to tail blocks, let's go to e-commerce. Here we'll just copy this one, looks pretty okay to me. Just copy this section, and I'm going to go convert to j6. So we'll just copy the whole j6. In the index of j6, in the index of JavaScript, I'll paste every single thing, except I will get rid of a few things. I don't want a lot of items right there. I just want like 2 maximum. Okay, so we have something like that. We have some dummy text, we have blah blah stuff like that. So you can see our site will look something like that. We'll add more options in here. We will add our sizes option, and we will add our we will add sizes option here. We will add the total what we say, the size option, and the color option, like how many colors are available in here. Okay, so that would be a good thing. And we're gonna have the category, the image, and the price itself also. So yeah, overall it will be all fine. And right, we're good to go with this section. Now we have to set up our server also, our backend. Before setting up our backend, yeah, let's set up our backend because we need to connect to Index.jsx. We first of all, our first work will be to actually show our items from the database, and they need to be filtered. Like if our database contains one item, like basically one item with two colors, we want to here show, yeah, two colors available, and this is the size that is available in the two colors. And basically that item will be clickable. If we click on the item, it will open up another page with the more detailed option about the item, and you can actually add to cart from there, that item page itself. Okay, so let's just do it. Here is our, okay, let me just stop the development. In the index.javascript, we will first of all say constant express is going to be equal to require express get express. Now I will do a comma and enter. So basically comma enter will mean like whatever I'm going to type right now. I will say like body parser is equal to require body parser, and I will do comma, I will do enter, and I will do right. So like Morgan is equal to require Morgan. Let me show you what this actually means. So basically you can see what is happening. I don't have to write constant body parser constant Morgan. Comma means basically all of them have the same thing. Like all of them will be constant types. You just have to define different variable names. We need to get the Morgan, we need to get the body parser, we need to get the .env as require .env.config. You can also just type require .env/config, but this one looks a little bit more cleaner, so that's why I'm typing like this one. We got the Morgan, we got the body parser, we need to get the mongoose. Require mongoose, we need to get the app. Let's say app is equal to express server. So here we go. Now our variable initializations are done. Now we need to say app.use. Basically we'll provide the middlewares it needs to use. We need to use the body parser.json one. We need to use the Morgan in the development server. We need to use the, is there anything else that we have to use? Yeah, we need to use the course. Actually forgot to use it. Say course is equal to require course. So basically what to say, we get the course also. Now these three middlewares are set up. We also need to set up our middleware of the router. So we cannot set up that here, but instead we need to say app.use. I will explain this in a minute. I will say /API. If anyone will make a request to /API/something, it doesn't really matter. What we want to do, we want to redirect all of those requests to controller/app. So we'll make a new folder. In the new folder we'll make a JavaScript file that will be with the name of app. Now in that JavaScript file we will initialize our React router. So the routers will actually listen to few URLs, and if the user is making some requests to that URLs, they will give the response according to the data provided by the user or whatever the user wants from the server. So we'll give it according to that. Here we will have another one thing called as port. We'll either okay, we are just saying listen on the port 5000 or listen on the port process.env.port. So what can happen here, why I'm just saying either on 5000 or process.env.port. So what can happen if you have uploaded your website on some online servers, on some online hosting platforms, they may have the port 5000 busy, and maybe they may have some ports available in the port in the environment variables. So that's why I'm just saying, either use the 5000 or use the available ports that will be given to you by the server. And then we'll use app.listen on the port, and this will basically start our next JavaScript. This basically start our Node JavaScript application. So 1 second. Okay, we got something like that. Now we will make a new folder in the server. We'll say one folder with the name of controllers, another folder with the name of model. That will save our user structures, like the structure of our collections for the MongoDB. You may already have heard about the schema stuff, so I will hope you have good knowledge of MongoDB already. If you don't have good knowledge, it's all fine, because this is what the tutorial is all about. Okay, I got the controllers. I will make in the folder with the name of validation. Here is where we are gonna use the joy ap joy, actually joy, what we say dependency. Good. And the controllers, I'm going to make a file with the name of app.js, and I will I will actually make a variable with the name of router. It will actually get the function of express router. We'll say require router dot require express dot router. We want that function. We don't need to get the express different, then we will get the router differently. So after that, we want to do one thing. Please make a get request on / get products. We want to give in the products from, we want to redirect that user request to get products function. Then we need to say constant get products is going to be equal to require dot / get products. I know for now we don't have any get products option, but I will make that in a minute. We'll say get products .js, and we'll say RFC, not actually RFC. We need to create a new model. We create a new model with the name of product.javascript, and we will first of all initialize our MongoDB database. We'll create a new database. I'm using the MongoDB compass because it's really cool. I will make a new database, create database, e-commerce database with the name collection name as default. Doesn't really matter. You can just put something random because we will not use it collection anyway. We'll delete it later on. I mean, you can delete it right now. I hope. Okay, you can. There needs to be at least one collection. So yeah. Collection default, and you got the e-commerce website. Now inside of our index server, we'll connect with our mongoose database. We'll say mongoose dot connect with mongodb : / we'll say 127.0.0.1. you can use localhost : 27017 / your database name. We'll use e-commerce because we just made e-commerce database. I'm using 127.0.0.1 because the localhost was having some issues, so that's why I'm using this one. Now in the model, I will create a new schema. Constant mongoose is equal to require mongoose dependency. I will say constant product schema. You can name it whatever you want. We will create a new mongoose schema, and in here we want our product to have a lot of things. We'll go through the things one by one. First of all, we want the product to have a slug. Slug is going to be basically the URL, and all of the products should have a unique URL. So slug needs to be unique. What we want to do here, we'll say slug needs to be of type string. It is required to enter a slug, and it should be unique. That's a part of the slug we want. Then we want the title. Basically, the title should not be unique, because different slugs can have the same title. Let's say we have a product of Adidas premium shoes, and that inside the title we have different colors of Adidas premium shoes, different sizes of Adidas premium shoes, and those different colors and sizes will have different slugs. So this basically we need to have one title of a particular type of products, and we can have different size and colors for them. So yeah, that's the thing. We need to have it as type string. It needs to be required. That is a true thing. And then we want a price. We want the price that should be a type of number, and it is required for us to give a price of the product. Then we want the category, and it is important for the category to be type string, and it's important for us to provide a category. Category doesn't have to be unique, because thousands of products can have same category. So that's the thing. We got the category. Then we need to get the color. Colors need to be of type string, because you can have red, blue, green, like that, and it's required for us to put the color up by ourselves. It will not assume any color by default. So yeah, we cannot put assumption as a color in our colors thing. Then we need the size also. The size is going to be same thing. We can say type is going to be string, and it is required for us to put the size in there. So yeah, we got the size by as a required option. And then we will have our img as an image. You can just say image, and it should be of type string, and basically the same thing. It should be required for a product to have a image. We cannot just give it some random image like, yeah, this is image, blah blah, stuff like that. No, we cannot give something like that. And once after we get the image, what else do we need? Let me just think about that one. We need to give it the quantity. We'll say quantity as qty. We'll say how much quantity the item is having. So we'll say required equal to true, and we'll say by default, actually the quantity should not be required. We'll say by default 1. So someone adds a product, by default the product will have a quantity of 1, and if someone wants to update the quantity, he can just update the quantity if he wants to. So that's his choice, whatever he wants to do. All right, so there we go. We have the quantity with the type of number. We have the it's going to be default as 1. So one can have 50 items in color with the color of red and size L in the title of something. So yeah, that's about the quantity part. And then we may have another thing called as discount. We'll have it as type number, and by default it's going to be 0, because we don't want any discount to be applied. And we will add this discount option at the very end of this video. Okay, I hope that I remember this option, because it's not really much of a needy option. So yeah, we will just keep it for the end. Okay, we need the description also. This little description for the product. We'll say this is going to be of type string, and it is required for us to put some description. Required is equal to true, or we can randomly generate some random description of the product. But I would say, yeah, it is important for us to manually put the description, because that will be a good user satisfaction. Usually get to know the actual information of what we are giving, and we want to make sure that they record the timestamps. So we'll say comma curly brackets times HTMPS are going to be true. They will record the timestamps. Now we'll export this model as default. Model export is equal to what we want to export is mongoose.model. We'll create a model with the name of products, and we will give it a product schema. So basically this option is going to create our new product schema, just like that. How easy was it? Very easy. And we got the get products. Let's first of all make a add products option, JavaScript. We'll first of all get our products require from our model $model/model/product. I will say constant add product is going to be an asynchronous function. It will take request and response from the user. And first of all, what we want to take is constant. We want the slug, we want the title, we want the price, we want the color, we want the image, we want the size, we want the description. It's going to be request of body. We want the quantity if they want to give QTY. category. We want the category also, and we also want the discount option. Say if discount is equal to null, then it should be 0. Say this variable discount is going to be equal to, okay, so basically we cannot say, we cannot put discount in there, neither we can put quantity in there. Say constant discount is going to be equal to request is equal to request dot body dot discount. If the request body discount is equal to null, then we want to return 0. Otherwise, we're going to say request dot body dot discount. Same goes for the quantity, because we cannot be sure about if they exist or not, if we are providing them or not, because this waiting is as a by default thing. Oh wait, we can do another thing. We don't have to actually get them like that. All right, what we can do is a constant add item is equal to new product schema, and here we just want to provide our requested body. So basically we're just directly giving the requested body, and we will say constant adding is equal to add item dot save, and we have to wait for the response from here. Now we can just say response dot json, send the adding response back. I would say module dot export is equal to add product, and we will just copy this one, go to app, paste it right there, yeah, shift plus enter. Now here we'll say module dot exports is equal to the router. So basically our index of JavaScript will actually get the router in here. We're just requiring it. Yeah, it should pretty much work now. We'll say nodemon. I'm using nodemon for making the requests. Okay, module not found. Okay, dot slash controllers. Okay, give me a minute. Good. I hope now it works. But got an object back. Okay, maybe in the get products, because we haven't defined it yet. Let's do that. Let's run it again. So yeah, it's basically work now. We can just go to Thunder client here in the collections. Delete this one. Yes. Yes, I will make a new request to post. We'll make this add products as a post request. Post request on http //localhost port 5000 /API /add products port 5000, right? In the body we want the JSON, the type to be JSON. First of all, we want the slug. We want the slug to be something. Okay, we will not actually give it some slug. We will not actually give the slug here. Okay. Yeah, there's going to be exception while we give it the slug. We will not give the slug like that. Okay. So yeah, I will just show you how we can give the slug. All we need to give is the title. Give the title. We'll give the title. We will give the image. We'll give the price. We'll give the description. We'll give the category. We will give the color. We will give the size. We'll give the quantity if we want to. Like, By default is going to be 1, so you don't have to actually give the quantity. Well, let's not give it then if it's not that much important. We're giving 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. We're giving 7 things in what we got here. Category, color, size, image, quantity, discount, description. 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Yeah, 7 main things that we are giving. Only has to be given. Now in the add products, what we can do for the requested body, you can just say let data is equal to requested body. So now what we want to do, we want to add a new item in here that's going to be our slug. So constant slug is actually going to be data dot title. So what we want the slug to look like? We want the slug to look like something like, first of all, we want the title to be there, and there are any spaces in the title, we want to replace all the spaces. If any spaces, we want to replace them with a separator of dash, and then we want to add a dash sign at the end, and we will add over another here spread another variable that's going to be data dot color. Then we want the color to be there in the slug. Then we want the size to be in the slug, so it should look like that. It will look like title, color, and slug and size. So this is how our slug look like. This is basically how our URL should look like. Now here in the product, we're just saying give it the data. So we'll say in the product, say new data is equal to all data, and we want to give it something new. We should add slug here. So basically it's going to add a new thing in here. Let's not give anything back, we'll say. Okay, I just want to do a console. Okay, let's just say let me just do console the log of data. I don't know how the data should look like, so that's why. Send post to / add products. Yes, I can. Okay, we made a post request, so this is how it looked like. Yeah, that's what we wanted actually. Good. Now let's make a title. Let's actually go back here. Let's get rid of these things. Let's give it this one. Let's give the adding in back in the server. So yeah, in the request we'll give the title of Nike premium shoes. We'll get image from Google. We'll say Nike premium shoes. Let's go to image. Let's get some decent image. Copy image link. The price is going to be $4.99. These are the premium Nike shoes. Category is going to be shoes. Color is going to be red. Size is going to be, I would say, medium size. Alright. If I do a resend now. Okay, product validation failed. Path slug is required. Okay. We have to give it the data here. Hope it will read it perfectly now. Let's send it again. Okay, good. So this data has been entered in our server. We got the slug. Look how our slug looks like. our title first, and then in the end the red our color and the size. We got the price, we got the image, we got the discount, we got the stuff, we got the created ad, updated ad, and the ID. If you go to a Mongoose database, you will refresh, you will see a new products collection. If we open it, you can see our item has been added there. If I try to do the same request again, they are going to throw me an error because the slug needs to be unique. And if we are trying to add the same thing again, it's going to throw in an error. And let's do blue color. For the blue color, here we want the quantity to be 4. Let me do a send. Okay, so basically the Node JavaScript application crashed. We have to start it again and do a send. So you can see the quantity is 4 basically. You can see now the quantity is 4, like by default it was 1. Otherwise it will just read whatever we give it. You can see quantity is 4, by default it was 1. So you can also pass the discount in here. It will read it as the way you want it to read. So that's about the thing we got in here. Now let's work on the last thing, and then I will go to cut my here. Okay, we don't have to send. Okay, we can just send it there. Good. We go to get products. Here we will actually filter our products. We'll just send the products back to the user. We'll say constant get the product require $model/product. We'll say add product. All right, we can give it literally any name. Now let's say get products is going to be an asynchronous function. It should take request and response. Now in here we want to do what? We'll create an empty object with the name of products. We'll create an empty variable with the name of object, like empty array with the name of quantity recorder. It's going to be empty array. So basically this array will contain what? It will contain object with the name, with a slug, some slug. It will contain object with the name, with a quantity, some quantity. It will contain object with the, like it will contain one object with the slug, quantity, and image. So it is going to add many objects in here, and at the end it is going to get a particular object which has the hashed quantity, and it will keep that image and that slug as the primary slug and image of the product. So whatever product you see on the home screen, there might be very many colors of that product, many sizes of the product, but all we want to show the user on the home page is the only one with the highest quantity. So all the things I mean to say is, like, if the merchant is trying to sell something in a lot of quantity, so basically it means that the product might have some demands, so users might want that product. And otherwise, you can, in the future, you can make it a little bit more better. You can make your own logics in this one, so that's all up to you. But for now, we are just limited to this logic. Okay, now what we are going to say, we'll say constant, we'll get the data from await add product dot find. What we want to find is literally, we want to get all of the data, all of the products that we have available. Now after we do that thing, we want to do a for each loop for the data. We'll say for each, we want to get the just the element. Okay, now what we are going to do here, we'll just say it as item, can be literally anything. Let me call it as E or element item. So here the products, in the products we're going to add new key pairs. All of them we're going to add new objects, and all of the objects will have a key which will be the title as unique key. Okay, so basically I told you already, many products can have same title. So what we are going to do now, we'll add a title, or we'll add a title with having the object containing object of the product that will have the color, the size, as you know, filtered by our quantity recorder, And in the colors and the sizes option, the colors and sizes will actually be arrays, and they will contain all of the available all of the products that we checked. They will contain all of the all of the sizes that are available and all of the colors that are available. So I will just show you that in a minute. First of all, we want to check if the item dot title is already present in the products, because I told you already, we will add a new object having the key of title, item dot title. In the products, the title can be like anything, like Adidas red shoes, Adidas green shoes, Adidas whatever shoes you want there. So if there's already present, we want to do something, or if it's not present, we want to do something else, and the else thing is going to be here. We will first of all add the else, because else has more logic. So what we want to do first of all here, we don't want to add any product in our product object if its quantity is less than or equal to 0. We'll say first of all if item.qty is less than 1, what we want to do is greater than 0. Okay, basically greater than 0. We want to do something. If it's not, then do nothing. Okay, that's the main concept. That's the basic thing. Now what we are going to do, we're going to say products, create a new key in the products object with the name of item.title, and we will give it an object, and the object is basically going to be, first of all, what's a JSON stringify of our item. We want to just deep copy this item. We don't want to link them together. We'll convert into the string, convert our string into JSON format again, so it will just copy it out of every single thing. And then we want to make our item.title, the color we will have there. Okay, we want to make it an array. We will say make it item.color. We'll add that into our array. We'll do the same for the size. Now we will add our qty recorder.push. Here we'll add the object with the name of slug. Slug is basically going to be item.slug. We'll add the qty. The quantity is just basically going to be item.qty. We will add a image. Image is basically going to be item.image. So that's all we have to do in here. Now in the if condition, if we have already added this, we already have this item.title in our products. We have already this item in the product. What we want to do here, either we want, first of all, we want to increase the quantity. Like we cannot have just one quantity of some other particular product in our products variable. So I will just explain that in a minute. But what we want to do here, we basically just want to push our colors or sizes in our products list if they are not there. So we will just do the same thing. If item.qty is greater than 0, then do something. Or basically we can do another thing. We can get rid of this thing. You can put it there. So what we are doing, we're just saying if the item.quantity is greater than 0, then we want those two conditions to run, basically something like that. If it's not, okay, if it's not, then we don't want anything to happen. Now what we want here, we want, first of all, we'll check if the color has been already pushed to this product list. We'll say if products item.title .color .includes the item.color already, then we don't want to do anything. So we'll say if it doesn't includes, then we'll just say products item.title .color .push a new we will push a new data in there. That's going to be our new item.color. So we'll just do the same for size. Okay, now at the end we want to say The same thing for the quantity. Just paste like that, and there we go. We have the quantity set it up. Now what we want to do here, we want to actually set up a slug to the slug of the item that has the highest quantity available. So we'll say products item.slug item.title.slug is called to quantity recorder. We'll use the dot reduce method. It will contain a and a comma b. So what we want to do, we're going to say if a.qty will first it will just go through loop through all of the array, and it will just keep comparing these variables together. We'll say if variable a is greater than variable b.qty, then return variable a, otherwise return variable b, and at the end we will say dot slug. Okay, so here we can just copy this thing. Let's say let max is equal to this. So basically we can access anything we want from the max. We can say max.slug is equal to this, and products.slug should be equal to max.slug, and products.image should be equal to max.image. Okay, and now what we want, we also want our quantity to be updated. We will say products products in the key with the key of title. We'll say dot qty plus equal to our item.qty. So it will just keep adding our quantity to with the latest quantity. So yeah, we should not create any issues. After our loops are done, we'll just say response.json, send our products list, model.export is equal to get products app. Let's say get products should be enabled, and let's add a few more products using the request from the client. Okay, we are adding blue size of m, size of l. We will add green with the quantity something by default. Let's edit. We got it done. Nike premium shoes, Adidas local shoes, color blue, size XL, Adidas local shoes, copy image link, go back here, literally paste the link, send it. Okay, we are good to go. Now what we will do, we'll just copy the get products. We'll go to here, we'll say localhost 3000, actually not 3000, 5000 /API/get products. Okay, so what we got to see here, we got to see two objects. I'm using JSON extension, JSON formatted extension. So what we can see, you can see here, we got only two objects, as we made the title as our key. So in here we got to see the total quantity was 6. The items uploaded in this with this title totally have the quantity of 6. It doesn't matter, one item can have quantity of 5 and another one can have quantity of 1, so it will just count the same. And we have uploaded different colors of shoes, the red color, blue color, and green color, and the sizes M and M, and the image is this one. This image is of the shoes which has the highest quantity, and this is the name of the shoes which has the highest quantity. How do we know it? We will check it right now. We have here blue M. Basically that means the blue shoes should have the highest quantity available. And let's take a look here. You can see the blue shoes have the quantity 4. That means blue shoes has the highest quantity for now, but we have green shoes, and then we have other shoes. Let's make the green shoes have the highest quantity. Let's make them have 5 quantity. Update it. Let's do a refresh. Okay, 1 second. Let's do a refresh. Okay, it's not updating anything. Let's see if we properly updated thing. Get to see the quantity 10, but we still are seeing the blue as the highest quantity, right? So that means something is fishy right there. We'll fix that thing in a minute. Okay, let's see if we are actually doing anything wrong. What we are saying here is red shoes. Blue shoes have quantity of 4, right? Blue M. And then green shoes has the quantity of 5. And then blue shoe has the quantity of 1. Oh! We added another. Okay, no, we have not added anything else. Okay, let me just take a look at this one. QTY will just return the higher one with the highest value. Let's just do console.log max. So refresh right there. Okay, we are only getting 2 things. So we're basically seeing if item.qty is greater than 0, then go through these things. If it's not, then just go to another item. If item.title is in products already, you're only adding the blue shoes and the red shoes. If I do something like that. Okay, good. What we have to do, we have to first of all push the latest object in here, okay? Push the latest one like that. Then we will do the loop. Then we will do the condition. Then we will check if which one is greater or not. You can see we got the green one. Total quantity of 10. Let's make the blue one a little bit more bigger than this one. Let's make it 6. Update. Refresh. You can see blue became the biggest one. So that's how we can do it. You can see the quantity became 12 and it's obvious. And this image should be also for the blue one. And it should be pretty much the same thing, but if we can change it, it will become for the blue one. Alright. So yeah, that was it for this section. And I will just go to bathroom and I will do bath real quick. I will cut my hair and I will come back. I will see you in a minute, in an hour.